Right trim, getting booked up in every city. Flash out with cash, had the spaz on the waiter. She messed up my order 3 times in a row. Whoa. I'm good on gas, I just filled up my tank. Now let's fill up her head and let's see if she goes.
We set the roof on fire. 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 We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire.
So bad, swimming in my bed. Off with that, off with that. Young Slim, get it in my infrared. Come and hit the rain, I just lit the gas. Young wild winning, living fast. Stashing money in a brown paper bag. We set the roof on fire, then we flood it out. We just threw the money up, we ain't even count. Shake it, shake it, shake it. It in my speeder, girl, I'm nothing, messing up my speech. I'm $1 million player, baby, nothing's at my reach. I'm $1 million, like I hit the lottery. Splash her with cash, had the spaz on the waitress. She messed up my order 3 times in a row. I'm good on gas, I just filled up my tank. Now let's fill up her head and let's see if she goes.
We set the roof on fire. 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 We're awake, we're alive, got the fire in our eyes. And if this is just a dream, don't wanna wake up. Let this feeling break up. We're running free, running wild, never running out of style. Got the fight, got the stuff, got the never giving up. Not gonna shake us, nothing's gonna break us.
Everybody, I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. One key thing to watch today will be the battle in the trenches. The Vikings have the best rush defense in the league, and they're going up against the Lions, who will try to avoid becoming one-dimensional. With that, let's get you out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 9 matchup.
Okay, Larry, thank you very much. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Twin Cities and the expansive new U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start, but I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9, the defense looking to put them in a bad spot here. throw here out of the gun. Finding time. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down. And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is third and long. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground. But that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Fair catch taken right at the 10-yard line. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over first and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line.
Well, anytime it's a toss or a pitch play, it's a battle for the edges. Who's going to control the edge of the line of scrimmage? In other words, can the defensive guys hold their leverage? What we were always taught was keep your outside arm or outside shoulder free. If you were playing on the play side, meaning the ball coming towards you, and anyone coming from the backside, they're pinching down and sliding down towards it to try and keep people kind of locked into one spot. And, boy, what a great defensive play there. Worn out leverage, running to the football from the inside out. Turned into a big loss of yardage.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on third down. Third and long. It's gone. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Are we still in the first quarter?
We are.
I mean, the pressure that's coming at him already, that's extensive. He's got to figure out how to sting the defense now. Because if they're coming at him so hard, you got to see it make.
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Daniil Hunter in there for sack number 22 on the year. Just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half set in 2001. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And what could he possibly be thinking? He just took the fair catch at the 1-yard line. Major mistake. The Lions defense marching back onto the field now. They've got the only points in this game. Last time that was a safety, and that's where we stand right now.
And it's funny, Brandon, when defenses that I played on, whenever we forced a safety and scored.
And can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems. And this qualifies as a big problem.
But what a spin. They'll run it now out of the gun. Ooh, with a juke. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. So the Lions go backwards there, and unfortunately that's something they saw a lot in 2015. They had the fewest rushing yards of any team in the NFL.
And it's one of those...
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2, but they face a second and long to start things out. They'll come out in the pistol. They'll give it to him right up the gut. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Alone to the right is Jones. On third down, he'll drop to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Eric Kendricks able to drop it for a loss of 12, and it'll be fourth down.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz, and the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they surrendered to safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to be hit and taken down in the backfield. Just nowhere to run that time. And the try for 2 is snuffed out. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to... And And Detroit getting set to go now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
Well, now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks. So you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker. And on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle.
Looking to throw, and he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in the touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Larry Ridley in Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And on the ground they go with a running back. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Third down, still 14 yards left. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. From the gun on third down, Goff. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Their dangerous wide receiver, 93 yards. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, a conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, pump the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful. And I guess that makes up for the earlier missed 2-point try here to get him to 14.
Yeah, that aggressiveness, it reminds me a lot of when basketball first adopted the 3-point shot. And people were starting to realize that 3 for 2 was really starting to work for them. In this case now, maybe the 2 for 1 is coming into play in the NFL.
So here come the Lions now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now.
Here we
2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. He was looking to get it to Kenny Britt that time. And it's 3rd down. So incomplete on 2nd down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd. Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Sam Martin now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Now they'll run it on the toss. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
On first down, it's gone. He's going to fire one. It's caught inside the 25. That one goes for 38 yards. And it'll be first down, Vikings.
When I watched Jared Goff on tape at Cal, I saw a guy who wasn't just a dart thrower. You know, a lot of people said, he's perfect for the West Coast offense. I always thought he could do a little bit more, and that was the reason why. He can push it downfield. He has a good, strong arm.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Goff. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Look at the big man rumble. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
And that will be caught, but out of bounds. Out of bounds, ruled incomplete here.
Out routes are always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he led him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, his intended target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. They'll drop the throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And another timeout called by the Vikings now. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock.
Here we go now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Partner, there are times when I feel a little bit guilty about offering some criticism because I see the thought process here, trying to bounce it outside and gain some yardage. But every now and then you got to think ahead and just take your medicine. Go down. Don't give up anymore.
Now let's go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Given 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation.
3rd and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. All right, hang on here. We'll jump over halftime. Just let the system and graphics catch up. Okay, all set. 3rd quarter now. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Lions defense gearing up as they take the field. They are down on the scoreboard as we begin the second half and look at a bigger deficit.
And I could just hear the coaches now. I can hear the head coach. Guys, first 5 minutes. First series of the second half. Offense or defense. You've got to set the tone.
They'll try to set that tone here.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play. Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
All right, here we go.
Goff on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And boy, Charles, they have to find a way to just get him some time to breathe back there. He's been pressured throughout this game.
And I'll bet in his mind he's thinking the focus shouldn't be on how many times I've gone down. It's where is it happening? Where are the breakdowns up front? They'll never say it publicly because good leaders don't do that. But they've got to figure out what's happening in the offensive line to keep people away from him so he actually has a chance to throw the football, because so far that has not been the case.
5 full sacks against him. Again, we'll see the pistol here.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8, Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
He'll look to throw. And the catch made by Kenny Britt. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. So they dial up the blitz on 3rd and inches. It pays off.
And frankly, they were probably dialing up a run blitz, expecting him to run it in that situation. But instead, they end up back at the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. And some space here. There he goes left side. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach. It's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And the lead is now 24. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. For so many years, I was convinced it was a myth, you know, because you always hear about the smaller running back. Well, he gets lost, you can't find him, and sometimes that's part of his genius. But it's true. You get behind big offensive linemen, the defensive line guys trying to find him, trying to peek around people to see him, and he gets lost. But this guy gets lost in a good way for his offense, picking up big yardage. When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
No gain on the screen there. It's second down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. You know, the running back, because he's eager to get the pass, but sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Three quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Watching that body.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Completes it right side to Britt. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
To throw now on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Daniil Hunter in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks?
But Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean, they can move so quick with those bodies.
It's almost unfair. You're supposed to be able to know where a defensive end is supposed to be on every play. These guys flash so quickly, you're not sure where they're going to end up.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Watching that body.
57.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. That goes for a gain of 31.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
So now it's first and goal. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget. Absolutely. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He is fully awake now. If he didn't get off to the start that he normally does, they've got his attention. He's running it well.
You think they set off the alarm clock at the half? You think that's what went down? I know this, having played on the defensive side of the ball, if you do a really good job against a great runner, and you go into the half, you're excited, you're fired up.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
And the lead will grow by 1 more. So this is a touch cruel here. They've got the big lead. Now they're going for the jugular with the onside kick. And the Lions are able to cover this one up. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 92% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set them back on second.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Ebron caught left side. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
I think what we're seeing today, partner, is what happens when you have a really good game the previous week. You get a lot more attention from the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It looks to me like they spent a lot of time figuring out tendencies, how they get him the football, and adjusting accordingly.
Well, they've adjusted, and the numbers certainly show that. Ebron with it over the middle. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time John? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. See if they stay on the ground for second down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And some room to work. And look out. I think he's going to go. 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. And the Lions are able to cover this one up. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. And he's going to be taken down here. Back across midfield, 3 yards away from midfield at the 47. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. They'll drop to throw. Caught here left side by Britt.
Wrap up.
Still moving. They find some open field here. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. And quickly they get to the line. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking for someone to throw to. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Holding offense.
And on 2nd and 10 now.
Watch left. Stop right there.
Here we go now. Patriot. 3-19.
gun. They'll look to throw. Looking for Britt, intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner, and just think about how good that feels because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Over! All right, here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Fighting through. And he's got room. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And they're going to speed things up here.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside.
Three down. Here we go now. No. Check. Patriot.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a third and about 2.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Check. Patriot. Hurry up, here we go. Blue, 90.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Back to throw. Goff. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Vikings, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.